Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Thanks for joining us today as we reveal Path of Exile's next expansion, Lake of Kalandra, which launches on PC and Mac on August 19th, and on Xbox and PlayStation on August 24th. Twitch drops are enabled for today's livestream, so make sure you follow the instructions below to link your account and earn your Wrangler wings.
Wow, that actually looks really cool. I'm gonna get those.
Livestream. First, we'll debut the trailer for the Lake of Kalandra expansion, and then dive into its challenge league. We'll discuss the further improvements we're making to Path of Exile's endgame in this release. There's a slew of new unique items for us to cover, and also a broad power boost to many different uniques. We've got a selection of new skill and support gems to reveal, and are excited to unveil our plans for revamping 3
Damn, Quinn doesn't have to eat his own dick.
Then we'll cover more details about game balance, before revealing this league's new supporter packs and what's going to happen in the lead up to launch next week.
Okay.
Our livestream ends with a Q&A session hosted by Ziggy D, where you can ask me your questions in Twitch chat. Then we'll post the full patch notes for you to check out.
Alright, let's see it.
Before we show you the trailer for Lake of Kalandra, I wanted to talk to you about ExileCon. Back in 2019, we were ready to announce Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile Mobile, and we wanted to do it with a bang. We filled a venue with thousands of Path of Exile fans from around the world and ran our first ExileCon convention. It was an amazing experience, full of fans interacting with developers, and everyone who attended can vouch for the amazing energy at the event. Announcing Path of Exile 2 on that stage was one of the highlights of my life. Since then, we've been hard at work on Path of Exile 2. Now that we are getting close to release, we will finally be ready to announce the date that the closed beta starts at ExileCon 2023.
Alright!
We're holding ExileCon 2023 in Auckland, New Zealand, on the weekend of the 29th and 30th of July 2023. In addition to the beta start date, we'll also be announcing everything there is to know about new game systems, character classes, items, and so on.
I'll be really curious to see that.
Attendees will be able to play Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile Mobile, see all the presentations live, meet our development team, hang out with their favorite streamers, and much more.
Oh wow.
The first wave of tickets will go on sale in 2 weeks. We'll make a news post tomorrow with more information so that you have time to determine if you're able to attend before the tickets go on sale. We are so excited to finally talk about what we've been working on, and to let some of you experience the next generation of action RPGs. In the meantime, we have a strong lineup of Path of Exile 1 expansions underway, and today we're proud to unveil Path of Exile Lake of Kalandra, which launches next week.
Fuck yeah, alright, let's see it. Here we go. PoE 2 in 2025. Isn't it better that way? That way they don't just abandon PoE 1? I think it's better this way.
Exile, you have wandered far to arrive at the shores of my lake.
Kalandra's a girl.
A hidden
it sounds like a girl's name now.
Overseen for longer than time itself. These waters harbor deadly secrets.
Okay. So how does this work?
Rayclast is reflected here. Reassemble it as you see fit.
What the fuck?
But the mirror distorts
So you build it over the maps.
Beware the
like each map at a time.
Back.
That's cool. In-game Atlas memories. Okay. 400 gems. What are they? Okay. That's probably a good thing. Wow. It's good. People didn't like Arc Nemesis. They got mad because some of the mobs were too strong. That's wild. Holy shit.
Or will you drown?
I think that's cool, man. Like, that's badass. This is, by the way, guys, this is a free game. It can be annoying to play the game without, like, some of the tabs to, like, organize your currency and shit, but, like, you can do it.
In the Kalandra Challenge League, you will travel to the mirrored lake that granted Kalandra her powers of reflection. We want you to experience the story for yourself, so I'll avoid spoiling the details here.
Does that mean at the end
when you
of
get
it,
to explore the league next week, you'll find out more about Kalandra and her motivations.
That's cool. People have wanted this for a long time.
Your experience
in
with
PoE.
Kalandra so far is probably of a coveted mirror, which duplicates
Yes.
items by reflecting them.
That's
The
right.
lake itself has the power to reflect entire encounters from elsewhere in Rayclust. As you explore the lake,
How's it
these
different from
reflections
Maven?
emerge from its mirrored surface.
Okay.
Sometimes these reflections are encounters with hordes of monsters. And sometimes you'll encounter extremely powerful foes, reflected from
You
elsewhere
got
in Rayclust.
Innocence and the fucking, whatever the boss. I forgot even what her name
Often,
was.
reflections involve League content, such as this
Oh.
encounter with a Harbinger boss.
That's bad. Dude, I love the Harbingers, man. That was like one of my favorite leagues.
As you play through the League, you'll occasionally encounter a set of columns protruding from the ground, with a mirrored
Okay.
tablet on top. This tablet invites you to construct a custom set of encounters at the Lake of Kalandra, offering a series of different reflections to place in
Mirror
whatever
of
layout you
Delirium.
wish. Each
that
of these
means you-
reflections represents an encounter that you must defeat when you next travel to the lake.
So effectively, like, you roll the affixes on the map.
Once you have assigned a
like
reflection
the
to every
Xanamons
location on
almost.
your mirror tablet, which will take a few areas, you can open a portal to the Lake of Kalandra itself.
Okay. Okay.
There you will get to experience these reflections of Rayclust as Kalandra manifests each encounter you have chosen.
Yeah. Do you get to fight her?
But as you push farther out onto the lake-shrouded waters, you will find each encounter to be more difficult, but more rewarding. This
Okay.
difficulty value counts up by 1 for each location away from the entrance the encounter is.
Oh, fuck. Oh,
Players
fuck.
wanting the best rewards will try to engineer tablets that have long, windy strings of encounters, reaching very high difficulty values by the end. To do this, there are
fuck.
occasional options that can be chosen which allow you to move and swap the
Sudoku?
entrance, reflections, and water tiles on the tablet.
3 Harbingers.
Additionally, as you progress through the league, you'll be able to unlock special abilities that let you manipulate the options you have available on each tablet.
It's probably
If
not
you don't
that
like
hard.
any of the choices available to you, you can earn the ability to skip picking one entirely.
So it's almost like a roguelike.
The next ability is even stronger. It lets you re-roll the
Okay.
list of options so that you can immediately pick another one.
They've been playing Vampire Survivors.
Finally, you can earn the ability to exile a choice entirely. For the rest of this tablet, that choice will no longer appear.
I like it, yeah. That's okay.
Once you reach maps, you'll be able to itemize your mirrored tablets so that they don't have to be played immediately. They can be stored for later or traded with other players.
That's badass. All right. Now I'm. All right. That's
As you
so
visit the
cool.
Lake of Kalandra to attempt your mirrored tablets, there are many types of rewards
That's
you can
big
find.
good.
An encounter that is based on a past league implicitly grants the rewards from that league, but with extra juice so that you're not missing out on bonuses you'd have obtained if your Atlas tree
Juice.
applied to the lake.
He just calls it what it is,
Other
man.
encounters that aren't based on past leagues generally yield a reward chest that rises out of the lake when you complete the encounter. Certain reflections grant you access to a new variation on rare items, exclusive to the Kalandra Challenge League.
Okay.
When you complete the encounter, you'll get access to some reflecting mist, which presents you with a difficult choice. It generates a rare ring or amulet with an unusual set of mods. Some are very high, and some are very negative, which hurt your character. The item is then duplicated, with a reflected copy having inverse mods. Negative ones are now positive, and vice versa.
That's
the amount
cool.
that all of these mods are scaled up by is based on the difficulty of the encounter you just completed. You may only pick one of these items to keep.
That's badass.
It'll often be a tough choice, with each item having its own strong pros and cons. But sometimes, you'll be offered an item where the negative mods aren't downsides for your build, and the juiced up positive
Exactly.
mods
Yeah.
are very
Like
attractive.
negative mana. Yeah.
There are also some special new jewelry base types that you can rarely receive from this process.
God damn.
One rare and difficult encounter rewards you with an advanced version of this crafting process.
Okay.
It allows you to bring your own ring or amulet, distorting and reflecting it with the same process described before.
What?
The mods are scaled up in value and some are randomly negated. The reflected copy has the inverse set of negations. It will certainly be tempting to gamble with some of your best jewelry to try to double the
57%?
values that really matter for your build and negate the ones you don't care about. If you're very lucky, you may find a special League-exclusive unique ring at the lake. Kalandra's touch mirrors the effect of your other ring. The Kalandra Challenge League has something for everyone. It's an out-of-area combat league where you build your own sequences of encounters. It lets you fully dictate your desired level of risk and reward and fully customize what content you play. It features a powerful crafting system, valuable rewards, and offers a glimpse into the lore of one of Path of Exile's most iconic characters. We can't wait to play it with you next week.
Multiplier is like... it's multiplicative. Burn damage is additive.
In every expansion leading up to Path of Exile 2's release, we'll be improving Path of Exile's endgame with new content to explore and new ways to customize your endgame experience.
Damage over time multiplier is
in the Lake of Kalandra
value.
expansion, we're introducing Atlas Memories. They aren't a League feature, they're part of the core game, affecting standard and persisting once the Kalandra League has ended. In maps, you'll very rarely find a memory item, which represents a set of memories that an NPC has about their past. Something special happened to them while exploring maps, and you're able to experience those events for yourself.
Okay.
Let's have a look at a couple of examples. In this Atlas memory, Kirik tells you about the time that he stumbled across a staging ground for a Harbinger invasion of Rayclust. Each successive map you play in the sequence has more and more Harbinger portals and invaders that you must deal with. This is a memory of Nico's, where he entered a sequence of maps that were entirely consumed by permanent breaches, like a Breachlord's domain. He survived to talk about it, but will you?
Yeah, I mean, Breach is pretty outdated.
Right-click a memory and apply it to a completed map on your Atlas.
Like, this shit's easy.
It'll mark out a series of adjacent maps that the Atlas memory will span.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably be able to...
When you next talk to the relevant NPC in your hideout, they'll tell you about their recollections and will allow you to start exploring the memory.
Next one.
Each map in the sequence is provided for free by the NPC, and you'll be able to roll it like usual before running it.
Yeah. Oh!
Because these maps are memories of the NPC, they are not affected by your Atlas tree. However, the content is generally as difficult and rewarding as a fully specialized Atlas tree would cause it to be.
Okay, so it's like it's counterbalanced. All right. It's smart that they...
Each successive map in the sequence gets harder and more rewarding as the memories intensify. While memories are tradable, they're also very rare and valuable, so you'll probably want to complete them yourself if you can.
Like, I really like that they are adding in
for players who love
quality of
lore,
life.
Atlas Memories help expand on the
release.
backstory of key NPCs. For players wanting to try out different League mechanics at quite high levels of juice that they haven't specialized
Remember, like,
their
making
Atlas
the
for,
map and saving
Memories
it?
let them do this without a bunch of respecking.
For the temple?
And for everyone else, Atlas Memories are a great way to earn some valuable items, if you're strong enough to complete them.
Yeah.
The Lake of Kalandra expansion also contains a new unique map that I'm quite excited about. The Trial Master is back. This boss from Ultimatum, and more importantly, the unique items he drops, have been sorely missed and will be making a return as the Tower of Ordeal's unique map.
I liked this guy. The guy was cool.
This map can be created by completing difficult endgame Val content. We have not forgotten about the rest of Ultimatum and have a specific plan for how it will return in the future.
There's just so much like visual
Whenever we're
aids
improving Path of Exile's
Ultimatum.
endgame, we take every opportunity we can to add new variations of rewards that you can find. We don't want to say too much about how these are acquired, but in this expansion, it's possible to very rarely find special foil versions of any pinnacle boss unique item. These have the same stats as regular ones, but are certain to be highly prized by collectors or wealthy players wanting to show off. The Lake of Kalandra expansion contains 14 new unique items. In addition to the Kalandra's Touch Ring that is exclusive to the Kalandra Challenge League, we have introduced a new endgame pinnacle boss reward, a supporter unique, the Tower of Ordeal's unique map, 6 new Grand Spectrum jewels, and even some leveling uniques.
That's good.
The first we're showing you today is Soul Ascension, a pair of gloves designed by Zizaran. They drop from the Uber Elder. Soul Eater is a very powerful buff, but it is usually hard to obtain in boss fights. This unique grants you the ability to gain stacks of Soul Eater when you hit a unique enemy, but also makes you lose those stacks if you aren't near one. Ghost Ride is a leveling unique which allows you to play as an almost pure energy shield character during early parts of the campaign. We'll reveal the other new unique items in this expansion over the next week.
Yeah, both of those are really cool. I like...
Path of Exile has a lot of unique items in its core drop pool,
but
over 700 in fact. We feel that there are two big problems with unique items at the moment.
Some are
the
too
first
good,
is that you find too
bad.
many, and the second is that they are generally pretty useless when you do. Sure, there are some powerful endgame or build-enabling uniques that feel amazing to find, but the majority of unique items found throughout the game are rarely actually useful to you. In the Lake of Kalandra expansion, we have made a lot of changes here. We have reduced the overall drop rate of
Thank
uniques
God.
throughout the
This
game,
one's
and have
so bad.
rebalanced
This
and
one's so
overhauled
bad.
over 100 existing unique items,
This is
with
good.
an emphasis
Leer
on
Mask
uniques
is
in the
good.
core drop pool, including leveling
This
uniques
one's
and
not
some
good.
endgame uniques. You're going
This
to
one's
find
good.
unique
This
items
is
less
good.
frequently now, but when you do, they're going to be a lot more punchy.
That's good. I've got so many of those.
Nexus Lantern
Oh.
has been completely changed from the ground up. Previously, it was trying to allow you to play a hybrid attacker and spellcaster, but it didn't really work very well. With the new design, it's a lot more elegant and delivers on this goal by simply granting high damage and the Battle Mage effect, so that your weapon damage is added to your spells.
Okay. That's alright.
Thousand Ribbons is an example of an item where we merely needed to
So
tweak
annoying.
values on the existing mods to make it a lot better. We want mod value rolls to matter more, and this item now showcases that well. If you find a high rolled one early on, you're probably not replacing it for a long time.
Okay. That's probably a good idea.
Malachai's Simula was trying to deliver the Blood Mage fantasy by allowing you to spend life to cast your spells. This was meant to be special because the Blood Magic Keystone was far away from the Witch starting location on the skill tree.
Yep.
Unfortunately, this item wasn't really powerful enough to justify its use. It has now been overhauled, and alongside Blood Magic, it grants a powerful multiplicative damage boost.
Double damage. 20%. I still don't
With
know
over
if that would
100
be
uniques
better.
rebalanced in this way, your play experience is now punctuated by quite large bursts of power when
I
you
don't
find
think it
one.
would be.
We'll continue to examine the power level
It's great
and
for
rarity
leveling,
of more
though.
unique items in subsequent
I
expansions.
don't think that's a new meta item.
The Lake of Kalandra expansion includes 3 new
Just
skill
20%,
gems
yeah.
and 1 new support gem.
You get that with Elder.
Alchemist Mark is a new mark skill. Igniting or poisoning the marked target creates burning or caustic ground underneath them, based on the damage of the strongest ignite or poison on the enemy. The damage of the ground effects also scales with Curse and Mark effect, providing a non-standard way to scale your build's damage. Hitting the marked target also refills some of your flask charges. This new skill opens up an extra source of damage for Ignite or Poison-focused characters, especially for Ignite builds that want an alternative to Flame Surge, or Poison builds that cause fewer, higher damage poisons. This high-level build uses Flame Blast, with 100% of the damage converted to Chaos, to inflict huge poisons on enemies. When Alchemist Mark is cast on an enemy first, that enemy drops Caustic Ground when it's poisoned, scaled by those big Flame Blast poison hits, melting everything into a puddle.
I feel like that'd be really good on high density
Galvanic
maps.
Field is a new shock-themed spell.
Okay.
When used, you gain a buff, granting a small bonus chance to shock. When you next shock an enemy, the buff is consumed and the enemy becomes energized, repeatedly zapping themselves and nearby targets, a lot like Ball Lightning.
Okay.
If the energized enemy dies, then the energy sits at their location and continues to zap things.
That's cool.
Galvanic Field's area of effect and zap damage scale with the strength of the shock on the target. While Galvanic Field is great for any build that shocks, you can even fully build around it, and use a skill with increased shock effectiveness like Arc, to shock enemies and kill them with a ball of death.
Yeah. I actually think that could be good.
Lightning Conduit is another new shock-themed spell. A wave propagates out from the target location, causing lightning bolts to strike all shocked enemies in a large area. The damage is scaled by the strength of the shock on each enemy. Lightning Conduit cannot itself shock and won't hit non-shocked enemies at all, so the challenge with this skill is to find a way to consistently apply powerful shocks to your targets to make the most of Lightning Conduit's high damage potential and area of effect.
I feel like
This
that's not good
high-level
for
build
bosses,
uses Wave
is
of
it?
Conviction to shock enemies, before casting Lightning Conduit until they're obliterated. For longer fights, it can employ Galvanic Field to create a constant
I
source
like
of
that
lightning
weapon. The
damage.
weapon looks cool. Cock potential?
Last but not least, Overcharge Support is a new support gem that causes supported skills to deal less damage, but makes them inflict much stronger shocks and grants them a higher chance to shock.
I see.
Overcharge lets many different lightning skills create powerful shocks. Use this to take advantage of Shock's large damage multiplier, or to activate Lightning Conduit and Galvanic Field. As Path of Exile expands, we
Okay,
often revisit
okay.
previous leagues, reworking them so they stay relevant and engaging.
Shock League,
In
yeah.
Lake of Kalandra, we are targeting 3 such leagues: Arch Nemesis, Beyond, and Harvest. The larger context here is that we've been re-examining what role rare and magic monsters have in Path of Exile. The introduction of Arch Nemesis modifiers as the monster mod pool prompted quite a lot of discussion about how often you should encounter rare and magic monsters, how difficult they should be to
Yeah,
kill,
they were
and how
hard.
rewarding their death should be.
They were fucking hard.
Previously, League content made fights hard by spawning a lot of rare monsters.
Hell.
A whole lot.
You guys can't see it.
In some cases 6 to 8 times the normal rate of rare monsters. Now that we have better mods available to make fights against rare monsters individually challenging, we have gone through the whole game and normalized the rate that rare monsters are spawned at.
Okay.
Some leagues had quite large reductions in spawn rate. You won't encounter situations with dozens of rare monsters on screen at once anymore. Alongside this reduction of how many rare monsters you'll face, we have improved their rewards and made sure that they scale with both difficulty of the encounter and any item rarity or quantity bonuses that you have.
This is good.
During the campaign, you'll only encounter 1 and 2 mod rare monsters. The 2 mod encounters are a bit harder and have better drops.
Oh.
In maps, you'll stop encountering 1 mod rare monsters entirely, and will mostly encounter 2 and 3 mod rare monsters. It'll also be possible to encounter 4 mod rare monsters again.
Long
Not
dicks.
only are the innate item drop bonuses scaled up significantly on monsters with many mods, but we have made these challenging encounters rewarding in another way too. About a third of the more powerful
Okay.
Arch-Nemesis modifiers now use a special reward conversion system. For example, if you defeat a monster with a Corruptor mod, all of its drops become corrupted.
Okay. I would guess that. Sure.
The Solaris Touched mod converts all of its item drops to maps.
I think I might play this build this season, by the way. I don't know. Like, what if I played this build with Shock? Like, that'd probably be
The
really
Katava
good.
Touch mod will cause the rarity of its drops to be upgraded by 1 tier. So magic becomes rare, rare becomes unique,
With
and
all
so
the new
on.
stuff? Okay, cool.
If you're lucky, you can find these conversion modifiers on both the 3rd and 4th mod of a rare monster. This causes them to stack
Katava
together.
touched.
So if you kill a 4 mod rare monster with both the Entangler and Katava Touched mods on it, its heavily juiced drops will also be converted to jewels with their rarity upgraded by a tier. Due to the high amount of inherent item rarity that 4 mod rare monsters have, this may result in several unique jewels dropping.
You know we're never gonna read those. We're just gonna fucking delete
This
the
conversion
mob.
system is fully
like,
compatible
wow,
with your
cool.
item rarity and quantity bonuses, as well as the drop bonuses from all other Arch-Nemesis mods. Going forward, we
Never
want to
gonna
make
read
sure
this.
that a lot more item reward mechanics scale with your character item bonuses. Get your Magic Find characters ready.
That's
As
good.
a result of this system, when you do encounter a rare monster with many Arch-Nemesis mods, you are well rewarded for the difficult fight.
Wow.
We have also been listening to feedback about the Arch-Nemesis mods that can spawn on magic monsters. Too many of them had external visual clarity issues like on-death effects. We have toned these down on magic monsters so that more of them are stat-based bonuses that aren't so spammy.
Good.
Encounters that spawn a series of magic monsters now make sure to preserve the same Arch-Nemesis modifiers between the monsters rather than rolling a different one for each monster. This will further help keep the game state understandable in hectic situations.
That's actually really important.
Beyond was introduced in August 2014, initially as a hardcore-only challenge league.
It was
It's
really
8 years
fucking
old now
hard.
and certainly has several issues.
Whenever it came out, it was disgusting.
Firstly, the art. Have you ever really taken a close look at a Beyond Demon? It is literally a bandit from Act 2, dunked in red paint.
Oh.
The second issue is its balance. The number of magic and rare monsters spawned is so much higher than the rest of the game.
I know, it's
And
awesome.
whatever problems that resulted in before are magnified now that rare monsters are meant to be more difficult.
True.
Beyond also spawns way too many unique bosses, which causes its own set of issues.
True.
In Lake of Kalandra, we have given
They
Beyond
changed
much more
that
than
to
a
stop
fresh coat of
headhunting.
paint. The Scourge have taken over the realm of the Beyond Demons. The old bandit
They're to
Beyond
nerf
Demons
it.
are gone. Summoning monsters from Beyond will now summon Scourge monsters and bosses. We have completely rebalanced the rate that Beyond monsters and bosses spawn at, so that it's appropriate for modern Path of Exile.
Okay.
The new Beyond monsters can now occasionally drop the Scourge League's tainted currency items that allow you to modify corrupted items. We've also completely revamped how harvest crafting works.
Again.
Rather than being presented with a
Great.
selection of crafting options that must be used immediately,
you.
now receive itemized tradable life force of the appropriate color.
This is what we wanted.
This life force can be used later, in your own time, at the Hoarder crafting bench in your hideout. Its crafting options are now priced in terms of this itemized life force currency.
I like that.
Tier 4
I think
bosses are now
that's
encountered
better.
much more frequently and can drop a key to fight a Shabi. She yields special life force which can
Fuck
be used
that
for a
bitch.
specific set of crafts.
Fuck that bitch.
We have rebalanced all harvest crafts for the new system and have removed a bunch of filler
Fuck
crafts and
TFC?
some ones
What's
with
TFC?
deterministic outcomes that were incredibly RNG gated before.
I'm not sure what's
Some
TFC?
crafts that provided access to exclusive content, like the special offerings to the goddess, have been removed because these items can now be found in more appropriate locations elsewhere in the game.
The big trade Discord? Oh. I
The
never
result
did that.
of these changes
Is that where you
when
have to get in,
complete
like,
a
in
harvest,
calls with
you
people?
are presented with 30
And, like,
crafts,
you'd
which must
stream it?
either be used immediately or
Yeah.
unsafely traded to some player you found in the
I saw
community
videos,
Discord
I didn't know what the
server.
name was.
It also means that every bit of life force you receive is going towards a craft that you actually want to use on one of your items.
Why would that
when you're
matter?
ready
You just
to
get
use
one
it.
shot by the first time they spawn.
Your interaction with the Sacred Grove is now far simpler as well. Just enter, pick your plots, defeat the monsters, and get on with your mapping.
This is actually really important because it would
Like
slow
with
you down
Nemesis
so
and
much.
Beyond, we have also addressed the monster composition of Harvest's fights, so that it doesn't contain too many rare monster mods, and so that it is
It
of
just
appropriate
one-shot you.
difficulty for its rewards.
Yes.
In addition, the rewards for Harvest now scale with map quantity and pack size, incentivizing you to juice your maps. Previously, the crafts you received were not scaled up at all if you played a harder map.
I didn't know that. I kind of assumed that.
Last
I
week,
didn't know that.
we
though.
posted this expansion's character balance manifesto, which detailed the many changes we're making in Lake of
Minions are
Kalandra.
dead.
There are plenty more changes, which we will include in the full patch notes that will be posted after this livestream. But on this stream, I'd like to talk about a few specific areas: minion itemization, Exalted and Divine Orbs, and the Trickster Ascendancy class.
He knew how mad
Historically,
everybody was.
minion
All right.
builds have not been particularly reliant on the stats of their items. Most of the power of their minions came from their skill and support gems.
True.
This led to a few problems. Firstly, it gave them a bit of a free ride compared to most other character builds. And secondly, it meant that it was hard for minion players to actually specialize their character to be really, really good.
That actually
We
is
want
true.
to solve both of these problems in this expansion. Path of Exile is a game about items, and that means that you will now be strongly rewarded for finding items that make your minions better.
Okay.
It also means that, like with other builds, if you find good items, you'll be far more damaging and survivable than before. We described a variety of minion changes in last week's Character Balance Manifesto. Today I want to show you the new base item types we have added to help your minion itemization.
Wait, am I playing minions again?
We've added a new ring base type, the Bone Ring. This ring has implicit minion elemental resistances and can roll minion related modifiers.
You can already have rings roll minion damage. And that's only increased damage.
We've added level 20 and 50 versions of the Convoking Wand,
Who gives
called
a
the Calling Wand and
I don't know if
Covenant
that's
Wand,
that's
respectively.
not enough.
Like the Convoking Wand, these new base types can roll minion-related modifiers. Some new minion-related mods have been added to the pool available to these wands, and some existing mods have been adjusted or made more common. We have repurposed the bone-themed spirit shields so that they
Okay.
have minion damage implicit mods rather than spell damage, and can also roll minion-related mods.
Saved, guys. 9%. We're saved.
Alongside
We're
the
good.
stable of existing unique items, there's now quite a lot more base type support for minion characters, and good mods on those base types can stack up to some pretty large bonuses for your minions.
That character was cool.
I also wanted to discuss two of the rarest currency items in Path of Exile, Divine Orbs and
I
Exalted
only
Orbs.
see one.
These actually have the same drop rate, but Exalted Orbs are worth so much more in trade because there's no easy vendor recipe for them, and because they're consumed when you craft certain meta mods onto items. Out of these two currency items, we would actually prefer the Divine Orb effect to be rarer, so that unique items with good rolls matter more, and so that players can exalt craft their items more frequently.
Okay.
We are making two changes that will impact this. Firstly, we are changing the cost of crafting meta mods so that they cost Divine Orbs rather than Exalted Orbs.
Good. That's actually
Secondly,
really good, yeah.
we are changing the 6-link vendor recipe to grant 20 orbs of fusing rather than a Divine Orb. This change will result in Exalted Orbs being far more available for crafting, and Divine Orbs less available for re-rolling mods on
Okay.
items. It'll certainly be interesting to see what the de facto trade currency becomes next league.
I feel like Divine Orbs, the reason why people don't really give a shit
Next,
is
I'd like to
because
talk about the Trickster
you
Ascendancy
don't need
class.
to use them that much.
We haven't been happy with the state of this Ascendancy class recently. While it used to be quite powerful, we moved its defining feature, Ghost Dance, onto the main passive skill tree. Since then, it has had a confused identity and hasn't met the power level of the other Ascendancy classes. In this expansion, we have reworked the Trickster, with a focus on establishing thematically appropriate defenses and ways to manipulate speed. One step ahead allows the Trickster to manipulate time in an interesting way. Enemies are slower than normal and cannot have their action speed raised above this value, such as through an acceleration shrine.
Oh,
Conversely, the Trickster is faster by default and cannot have action speed lowered below this value, effectively making them immune to effects that lower action speed such as freeze, chill, or temporal chains.
Interesting.
Spellbreaker ties together spell suppression and energy shield in a powerful way. Spellbreaker
Garlic.
grants some spell
It's not
suppression
garlic, you have
chance,
to turn
which
it
is an
on.
effect that reduces damage taken from spells. The skill also starts your energy shield recharge half the time you suppress spells. Since Trickster characters tend to have a high evasion rating, you will be evading some hits and recharging on others, meaning that your energy shield recharge stays active most of the time.
Okay.
Spellbreaker also further improves defenses by reducing the damage you take from suppressed spells while on full energy shield.
That's cool.
For those that want a different way to recover energy shield, the powerful Soul Drinker notable passive is no longer exclusive to Forbidden Jewels from the Uber-Searing Exarch and Eater of Worlds.
I never
Any
did
Trickster
that.
can now allocate this skill. Polymath provides more bonus damage, life, mana, and energy shield on kill for each different type of mastery you have allocated. It reinforces the idea of a Trickster being a jack of all trades, and will lead to interesting decisions when planning your passive tree, trying to fit in as many different types of masteries as possible.
Okay.
Overall, the new Trickster is intended to be the Shadow's answer to the Champion, but faster. He should be an exciting option for players who want to get a lot of evasion, energy shield, and recovery out of their Ascendancy class while still being able to melt enemies. Alongside today's livestream, we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs, the Knight and Rogue packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value and points, plus several exclusive microtransactions. These packs are only available during the Kalandra League and will leave the store forever in 3 months.
Alright, let's see it.
Every microtransaction you're about to see is entirely cosmetic and does not affect your character's progression or power.
I'm out. I'm out. Never mind.
The Knight Pack series contains 6 exclusive microtransactions,
Yeah, never mind.
including the full Knightmaster armor set. The Etheric Mana Flask releases a burst of mana upon activation, then draws in energy from the environment as your mana refills.
Okay.
The Hoarder's Stash is a stash skin that can be used in your hideout. As you place items in the stash, they hover above it until you're finished, before being sucked into storage.
Cool.
This is the Knightmaster armor set. While wearing its helmet, your actions are periodically duplicated by an ethereal copy of yourself.
Oh. So double damage. That's crazy. Damn, so
The
you do double
blood-scarring
damage
cloak
now.
absorbs blood as you slay monsters. It tracks your kill streak and cleans itself off when the slaughter ends.
So it's a cosmetic rampage.
The Ring of the Victor causes a podium to rise up underneath you when you are standing still,
Oh
elevating you above other players.
Seek refuge here.
The Warlord's Lieutenant Portal summons a warrior spirit who will greet you, cheer you on, and commend you on your actions.
I'm gonna buy it.
Onward to battle.
Yep. 100% buying this.
The Rogue Pack series has 6 exclusive microtransactions, including the Rogue Stalker armor set. The Beast of Burden Pit visually carries your items for you, becoming more laden with bags and packs the more full your inventory gets. The Collector Serpent Shield covets the treasure you find. Whenever you pick up an item, the serpent darts out to grab it. This is the Rogue Stalker armor set. While wearing its gloves, critical strikes cause blades to appear and slice at your enemies.
Damn. Way more damage. Wow. Dude, that's gonna make you do way more damage, bro. God
The
damn.
corpse bloom footprints cause exotic plant growth in your wake. The plants especially love corpses and will seek them out and grow in larger patches around them.
So it's basically like an intentional,
On the other hand, the Undertaker's amulet inters corpses for you, burying them and marking their location with gravestones.
Okay. That's actually, I might actually use that. That seems really useful.
The Unstable Explosives back attachment is not for the faint of heart. As your life gets lower and lower, it gets closer and
More
closer to
visual clutter.
exploding.
Yeah, you opt into it.
And when you die, your party members will certainly feel it. As I mentioned before, these packs are exclusive to the Kalandra League
That's
and
cool.
will leave the store in 3 months. They're available right now at pathofexile.com/purchase,
I
and they
seriously-
directly fund the ongoing development of Path of Exile 2 and Path of Exile 1 expansions like Lake of Kalandra. In addition,
Jesus.
the supporter packs introduced with the Sentinel expansion are leaving the store forever in 1 week. Now's your last chance to purchase them, and we greatly appreciate your support. Speaking of things leaving the store, the Kerrick's Vault Pass for Sentinel is only available for the next few days also, and will leave the store forever when the League ends. There's no penalty for purchasing the pass late in the League after you've wrapped up your map completion, so if you're pleased with where you got to in maps and Sentinel and want to lock in your unique skins, it's not too late to buy your pass. Next up, we've got the Q&A with Ziggy D. Once that ends, we'll post the full patch notes for Lake of Kalandra. Over the next week, our community team will post teasers for new and revamped
I'm
unique
not gonna watch
items,
the whole Q&A.
upcoming quality of life improvements, and an announcement for the League launch race event. On launch weekend, we'll be running another set of Twitch drops, and expect to release the new Mystery Box and
It's
Kerrick's
lit.
Vault Pass in the days
Oh,
after
it's
launch.
lit. It's lit. Oh.
Thanks for joining us and checking out today's reveals. We can't wait to see you in Rayclast on August 19th. We'll begin the Q&A in a few moments, so please get your questions ready in chat.
Drops, drops, drops! That's all they're asking about. I think it's good that they're... I feel like that one thing that like gives you gravestones instead of the corpses, I feel like that's going to be really good for visual clarity. But it could also be really bad if you're doing a map that has like a million mobs and like the tombstones just like fucking cover the map. So like I'm not 100% sure on that one. So like that could be useful in like an abstract way, but it could actually not be. It depends, right? Other than that, I mean, the League looks interesting. I mean, I like the fact that they're trying to change things up. I also think that, like, for example, the fact that they are making the item that you get from the League mechanic automatically fucking BOE. It's like you can basically save it. Think about how long it took for them to do that with like the temple, like the Alva incursions, right? Like that's immediately fucking done. And I think that's great. I'm glad about that. So Crazy Games free is not. You see how much fucking money that you have to spend to get these fucking things. Like obviously the game, it costs a good amount of money to buy some of the stuff, right? I mean, sure. However, it is free. It is a free game fundamentally. So it's important to keep that in mind. So yeah, I mean, that's it. And so, yeah, I'm excited, man. I definitely am. Which RPGs could do party and dungeon, right? Yeah, I think so too. Expensive free game. I mean, like, that's just the way they get. It is what it is, right? I mean, like, fuck. But yeah, I think it's cool.